I bought this sweater just for this video, only to realize you won't even be able to see it when I'm recording. That's fine though. I mean, I'm wearing it. You know I'm wearing it. It's gonna bring some Sonic spirit into me while I read my old Sonic fanfiction that I wrote in 2009. So, 10 years ago. I was a much different person back then, but not really. Let's just jump into it. Wait, that's a Philip DeFranco thing. So, truth. I've always wished I had super speed and race against Sonic the Hedgehog characters, parentheses. I'm such a dork. Someone save me seriously. Someone save me seriously, I guess. I don't know. Okay. And then it says in bold, in all caps, imagination. So, not sure. It was definitely whatever. No one could recognize my new friends who have transformed from colorful animals to good-looking humans my age. I guess they were humans. I had 5 new guy friends whose names were Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, Silver, and Tails. I was sure people would find those names strange, so I gave them nicknames. Steve, Shade, Kurt, Sylvester, and Tate? I don't know. I could have came up with better names. Sure, they weren't the best names, but it made more sense. I knew back then they weren't very good names. And why were they humans? I guess to make it less embarrassing, but still. Oh, do you guys, in case you guys don't remember, if you guys never seen my Artist Who Broke My Heart video, I talk about this fanfiction and how I submitted it to like a humor contest on this website, this like writing website, and the guy just completely tore me down and said it was terrible and to not ever submit like crappy fanfiction like this again, and it really hurt me. It really hurt my heart. So this is it. This is the one that got me. I wish I had that comment. Anyways, it was time for the circuit, which was nickname for the mile run. Remember that? I talked about that before. We ran a mile once a week, but I was too fast, and it was usually very boring to have no one to compete with. Oh, so different than me actually in real life. Until now, when my new friends came along. Now I have competition and I'm going to have fun now. There couldn't be a more perfect day to run. The grass was short and dry, which meant no mud or gopher holes to not see and trip on. The sky was clear and blue, which meant no sudden rain and sun to help guide us. There are around 200 students who ran the mile all at once. That's a lot of students, which is a smaller group than it sounds. I guess it's not. Mrs. Liu, the dinosaur of all teachers, began to count down. My new friends and I were at the very front, ready for the race. Me and my Sonic friends, but as humans, to be less embarrassing. We were in racing order, which was why everyone was staring at us as if we were crazy. We weren't. Not today. Mrs. Liu... They say Lou or Low. Mrs. Liu blew on the whistle and the 6 of us were off. You would think that since we could run at supersonic speed, we would cool it down so the humans wouldn't get suspicious. So am I not a hedgehog? Am I not a human? Am I a hedgehog? And or whatever fast animal I choose to be in this story, because I don't know. We would cool it down so humans wouldn't get suspicious. Well, we didn't. We ran as if we were running from Dr. Robotnik's army. It was fun, and I guess I should get more into detail. I guess you should. Why not? At the beginning, we were all running side by side, not being able to pass one another. I didn't think the race was too fair because Tails, had 2 freaky tails sticking out of his bunny. So I think... I didn't actually say bunny. It was like asterisk or whatever, bunny. I think I probably wrote ass. And it like censored it for me. So, that propelled him to our speed. So that should be considered cheating. I like how all the characters are humans, but Tate still had 2 tails. I don't get it. What was the point even? I don't know. It wasn't long when his tails got the best of him and they got tangled up, causing him to tumble down on the dirt ground. I laughed and continued to run. Only 5 racers now. I had a feeling Steve, Sonic, and Shade, Shadow, would stay by my side for a long time. It was Kurt, Knuckles, and Sylvester, Silver. That had to go. I began to think of way to get them to lose balance or stop running. If any of us stopped running, that means to take a break, and then they are automatically out of the race. I knew Sylvester would take a while to leave, but Kurt was easy to fool. He was known to be naive and sometimes a scatterbrain. Should I just use like the normal Sonic names because like, does it make a difference? I don't know. It didn't take long to think of an idea. I would just simply trip him and he would fall over. The best part of that technique is that I can use it on all the others too. Kurt ran right beside me, so I had a great chance, but I didn't get to trip him. You know why? Kurt has a special ability to dig holes with his fists. For some unknown reason, when he saw the patch of gopher holes, he just decided to run to that patch and began to dig with his heart's content. This is so fun, way better than running, he said happily as he jumped in the air and dived into the ground. There's no point in them being humans if they're gonna act the same as their... I don't get it. Why would he want to dig holes? Okay. In his world, when he dived into the ground head first while spinning, he could easily dig a hole in the dirt. Yeah, that's what I just... Okay. Too bad we weren't in his world, because diving head first into the dirt wasn't the best idea. He ended up lying on the floor unconscious. We'll have to come back for him later on. Wait. Okay. So he started digging, and he said it was really fun, but then it turned out he couldn't dig because he was in the human world and the dirt. And he can't just like spin on his head and dig. That's what's happening. Now there was only 4 of us left. I just needed a way to get Sylvester. I began to think he was too clever for me to trip him. The fun thing is, I knew nothing about Silver the Hedgehog. Like, I didn't play Sonic 06, I think that was the game. I didn't like know anything about him besides like a few like fan-made videos on him, kind of, but it wasn't even about him, so I don't know why I'm even mentioning him. Where's Amy and like Rouge? Like, I love them. Why are they not there? I began to think he was too clever. What is his weakness? I looked around and caught the glimpse of a stray cat up on one of the trees here in the field. I grinned. This was going so perfectly. It turns out that Sylvester's best friend was a purple cat, but you couldn't tell the color from this distance because everything's black and white from far away. This means I have to tell him right now. Look, Sylvester, it's Blaze, I shouted, pointing up at a tree. Sylvester looked up and saw the cat. She must be stuck, I added. Steve and Shade seemed to know my trick, but they didn't say a single word. They just continued running like the rest of us. Sylvester quickly stopped running and began using his telekinetic powers. His powers removed the stray cat from the tree and towards him. Hey, this isn't Blaze, he said as the cat landed in his arms. The cat was startled and took out his claws. Oh my Jesus, Sylvester said before he was in a messy battle with the cat. Cool. You're so evil, Steve told me. Sonic told me. I grinned as we began running up the zigzagging ramp. Everyone hated the ramp. It took a whole minute to run up the ramp, and since it was going uphill, it tired us all. Even me, who was a very fast runner. Don't think we were done with this race. We still needed another lap. Oh my god. The first lap only took us 3 minutes, which was still slow for people like us. The teachers looked amazed, but we didn't really care. This was the last lap, and the last chance to winning victory. I needed a new plan. I wasn't sure if any of these two had weaknesses. They do. I used the very last of my brain cells to think about them too. Okay. Sonic seems so invincible. Don't I mean Steve? The only thing that could kill him in his own video games were Eggman's army. I don't know if that's true. If you were a bad video game player. There had to be one other thing that could kill him. But what? I didn't have any fire. I didn't have any robots with me. Not at the moment. Like usual. I would have been hurting my head for a longer time if I hadn't noticed something. I was sweating. The sweat was liquid. Liquid meant water. Sonic not only couldn't swim, but he was afraid of water overall. He had aquaphobia. This is just something. This was like some artistic liberties I took, I guess. I just needed a large amount of water that wasn't my sweat. Good idea. The whole ground was dry except for one spot we called the Lake of Sunrise Middle School. It was a very large puddle that was always there, no matter how hot it was. We were less than a minute away from it. Hopefully the mud is squishy enough to keep him stuck. I once lost my shoe in that puddle. This had to work. Slowly we were coming closer to the puddle. I positioned myself closer to Steve and got my arms ready. Slowly I went closer and closer to him and suddenly pushed him. He stumbled back and stepped in the puddle. Trembling from the water, he tried to get out, but his foot was stuck. Shade and I continued to run, laughing at Steve's cursing. One person left. You guys really played his phobia against him. That's kind of messed up. Less than 1 minute until we finished the race. Why is Shadow the last one? Oh, I had a thing for Shadow, I think. Yeah. Did Shade have a weakness? A food? An animal? A power supply? A person? Maria! Maria was his friend. Why did I put that in parentheses? That's really weird. From over 50 years ago, he did everything for her because he made a promise with her. What could I do to remind Shade of Maria? There has to be an innocent-looking blonde somewhere here. I looked back. We were isolated from everyone else except the slowest runner who we were catching up to, Erica. She was tall, blonde, and blue-eyed. She didn't look like Maria from the front, but she looked exactly like Maria from the back. As all blondes do, I guess. Shadow didn't notice this, but I did. What should I do to get him to notice, though? Oomph, I said when Shadow suddenly hit me with a branch. He laughed, but I didn't stop running. I took hold of the branch and pushed myself to run faster. Shadow, I mean Shade, quickly caught up to me. Oh, Maria, I said, holding the branch over my head, about to swing it to the blonde girl. Erica looked back, her hair covering her face. Maria, no, Shade suddenly said, running to Erica and pouncing on her to keep her safe from my branch. I jumped over the tumbling couple and laughed as I continued to run. I began to run up the ramp, beginning to end the race, and right before I crossed the line, I tripped and fell over the railing. I sighed as the sky above me began to spin. So close, I said, but not close enough. Author notes, not my best story, but this is so true. Which I don't get what that means, but that was my Sonic fanfic. Thank you for watching. That's it. That's the whole story. I raced against the Sonic characters as humans, but it didn't freaking matter because they still were their Sonic characters. That's it. I really sat here and put on makeup for this, didn't I? Thank you so much for watching. Please be good outlets for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!